Thank you for joining, everybody. I was on mute. Apparently, I've never been on a conference call a day in my life. So, what else can go wrong? That's what I want to know. Are we going to have a freaking earthquake or something? Knock on wood. Anyway, there's no wood around. Okay. So, NG is up and running. This is where we're going to start from, okay? I'm sorry. We're just going to start from here. We have Angular installed. We have the Angular server up and running. NG server is up and running. We're starting from basically nothing right now, okay? So the only thing I've done is imported settings, identity, graph modules from YadaCoin.io, and then I've added some properties here to the app component. I've instantiated those modules here in the constructor, and then now we're on the ng on init method, and we're going to get these two identities that are going to make friends. Okay, so we're starting from about a minute ago. It's about 10:13 where I am p.m. So we've been at this a minute officially. Okay, unless something comes up again, then we'll just start the time over. Okay, this is a speed run though. If you if something comes up, you just start over. That's how it is. I don't know if anybody out there plays GoldenEye 007 back in the day on N64, but if your speed run didn't go well, you just restart and then you go for it again. That's how you get the cheat codes. So we're gonna go ahead and do it that way. All right, so let's refresh the page so that we can get the prompts coming up. And I know you probably can't see that, but, oh, right, I need to do this one thing. So when you're doing this, you need to configure the web service URL. So let's do that. HTTPS, YadaCoin.io. All right, so that's going to refresh. It's going to give us a couple pop-ups. All right, so I'm going to have to select the identity. All right, so we're going to say user1. You probably can't see this, so just bear with me for a second. But if you're following along, you'll see a pop-up come up, and you'll just enter your own username, your own public username, and then your own private username, and then just click a place on the map twice. And then you're good to go. All right. All right, so I've just created two users. So I'm selecting user 1 that I just created, and now I'm selecting user 2. All right, and let's check and see if there's any errors. Doesn't look like it. In fact, we have a couple messages coming back here. And we have user 1 coming back and user 2 coming back. Great. Perfect. So now we're going to go ahead and say user 1 wants to request user 2 as a contact. Okay? Easy enough. Let's do that. YadaCoin can do all that stuff. So let's say graph.add contact. And we're saying that ID1 wants to add ID2, and we're going to use the window as the way to do that. Oh yeah, we got to do this because they're instance properties. So, and then to accept the friend request, we're just going to reverse these two. Boom. That's all we do. So this is the request. This is the accept step, okay? So, after this happens, we're pretty much done. So I'm gonna do some display work here so I can show you what's actually happening. So let's add some graph information. So we'll say G1 is the graph for identity 1, and then G2 is going to be the graph for identity 2. So we'll say this dot G1 equals await, because this is async, this dot graph dot get graph this dot ID1. We're getting the graph for ID1, and we're going to do so inside of a window. And then we'll say G2, which would be the graph for G2 for identity 2. So we're going to specify that right there. And then we're going to go ahead and go into the, we're going to get a couple prompts here real quick, but we're not quite ready. So let's delete all this stuff. And we'll say div, and then we'll say ng if ID1. And so if ID1 is populated, then we'll go ahead and display that. So ID1 dot, I think ID1 is, actually let's make sure of the data real quick. Identity 1 is method result. Identity, okay, so it's just username. Let's complete those curly braces. All right, so then boom, boom, and this is going to be ID2 and ID2, and then we're going to display the graph results right after that. So graph results, bam. So we'll say if G2, actually if G1, and then if G2. And so that's just like if G2 is even populated. So G2, and then we'll say if G1 dot graph, and then contacts, because they'll have a contact after the request and accept. So contacts 0 dot relationship. That's the encrypted field that's decrypted, and then it's in the contact property, and then username. So boom, right there. I guess I could just copy that and go over that because it has more of the information that we want. So then we'll say G2, and then G2 here. G2 actually is what we want. So then we'll just go ahead and do that. And then we're going to get a pop-up here, and then we're going to select user 1, and then we're going to see that user 1 is displayed. We're going to see user 2 is displayed, and now we're going to get the graph, and then get the graph. Sorry, yeah, I got tripped up. So we're going to get the graph information after the property undefined contact. Let's look here. So get graph window. So let's look and see. So we have the friend request and accept was successful. Okay, so we're good there. So all we have is a template error. So let's look at what we have here. So graph contacts. So let's look graph. It's saying that can't read contacts of undefined. Okay, so graph. So result contacts. Graph contacts cannot read contacts. Reading contacts of undefined. We're going to go ahead and refer to our other project real quick just to save time. G1 contact. Oh, okay. So we don't even have a graph sub property. All right. So G1 is just the graph, so we don't need to have graph there. All right. So let's go back. Select the identity. User 1, user 2, add it's idempotent, so you can add these users again and again and again, and it'll only count as one friend request or accept. So that's what we did. We just did it. We have user 1 here. When we did the get identity, we have user 2 when we got the identity, and then now we're displaying the user 2 contact for user 1, and then here we're displaying the user 1 contact for user 2. Boom, we're done. That was exactly 10 minutes. Man, that was the fastest application build I think I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm so proud that we were able to get to this point. Everybody, give yourselves a big round of applause and a pat on the back, because you just really witnessed something quite amazing. Like, if you were to compare it to something like the Falcon 7 when it self-landed and used its rockets to put itself down on a platform in the ocean, this exceeds that by probably 1,000 times. So you can feel free to pop the bubbly or do some party favors. I don't know how you're going to contain yourself, honestly, but it is what it is. It's not my fault if you get overexcited and can't control your emotions from this point on. I'm sorry if you can't sleep tonight. But anyway, I just hope that you can, get some rest and maybe try to put this to actual use and make an application that has some social interaction using this really cool Web3 technology. Anyway, my name is Matt Vogel. This is YadaCoin. We just killed it, and I'll see you next Sunday, because we're going to do this again, and we're going to do it even better, and we're going to keep doing it until it gets better and better. Peace.